How good do you think we British people are at this? Let me ask Siri a question first. Find synonyms for rage.
Checking on that. All right, here's what I found.
Okay, how good are we at rage as British people? So far, Siri has found fury, madness, passion, craves, fad, ramp, storm, a feeling of intense anger, a state of extreme anger, something that is desired intensely, violent state of the elements, behave violently as if in a state of great anger, be violent as fires and storms, feel intense anger. Those are a few phrases. Narrower terms, we come up with flip one's wig, foam at the mouth, froth at the mouth, go ballistic, have a fit, have kittens, hit the ceiling, hit the roof. All on Google. Place search for synonyms. Well, I personally think the British specialise in rage. Yep. And I say that based on my service with Indesit Company in a local white goods call centre. They are forever going off on doing their ends, having a fit. They love rage. They love anger. They've been taught to just get it all out their system, just let it all go, yeah? And it comes straight out their mouth, straight down the phone, and usually straight into that ear, yeah? You're expected to suffer verbal violence from the great British public. Another question then that arises is, why is rage such a permanent state in our society? I think it is a bit of a political question, but why do we see so much of it? Why is it always there? Why always the clenched fists, the face all screwed up, the brow furrowed, the teeth practically bared? Why is it always there? Why is it the motivator behind so much of what people do? The motivator behind, let's have a few types of rage. Road rage. You slow down in front of somebody in a queue of traffic, as I did with this guy, just to brake a little bit sooner, and the queue's already waiting at the roundabout, yeah? And so I slow down a little bit ahead of time. I don't want to go straight up the back of the car in front. I'll get there a little bit more gradually, and as far as I'm concerned, the car slows down a little bit quicker. The car slows down a little bit more slowly. It gives me more time to brake. It saves a bit of my petrol. The guy behind was incensed, fury, rage. I couldn't see him in my rear view mirror because he had a sort of tinted windscreen, but I expect the dash cam at the back got him. And you can imagine the guy behind there munching his steering wheel. Munch, 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 munch. I'm so angry that you did that. He wasn't going to get off the roundabout. There were already 6 cars waiting in front. So what does he do? He overtakes me to get 1 car ahead coming up to a roundabout where the traffic has already stopped. What motivates that other than rage? Hang on a second, I've got a cup of tea. So, we're almost programmed for it. Think how much consumer society loves rage, yeah? If you get all outraged about something, you demand your rights, you go in there, you slap things on the table, you bang doors, you punch walls, yeah? You are right, you are the consumer, you demand, yeah? You go in there and you do that, yeah? Right, let's take this a stage further then, right? If rage is so justified and popular in consumer society, imagine Mrs. May, who describes herself as, and I quote, a bloody difficult woman. going in to negotiate the best Brexit deal. Theresa May goes in and is, in her words, a bloody difficult woman. If you've worked in customer services, what happens to you the moment someone comes on the phone with either an attitude that you can hear in their voice, or passive aggression, or just outright aggression? What do you do immediately? You have to serve the person? Of course you do. But doesn't it put your back up? Don't you think, actually, I'll just put one on hold for a bit and I'll let them stew, and I'll have a little bit of a look at a few things on the computer that might be relevant here while they stew. I'll go back to them again. I'll be professional, but they'll be there with the steam coming out their ears, getting even more enraged, the veins throbbing in their head, their eyes penetrating, their lips pursed as they get more and more annoyed, angry. Yeah? How does that help even in solving their problem? Because you do actually want to solve their problem. And if Mrs. May goes in with that, I'm a hard negotiator and I'm difficult, how's that going to help to get us, as a country, a good deal on Brexit? Well, again, politically I point to something else. Everybody is almost expected in this society to be aggressive if you are strong. Yeah? Aggression and strength are directly linked. Why all the stuff about peace protester Corbyn who voted for the CND? This is a paraphrase of something I think the Sun published. Yeah, rather than sort of just being bold and strong and saying Britain doesn't negotiate with terrorists, would ask the Mujahideen round for a cup of tea. He'd sit there and say, oh, come on, let's get my cat tea mug. Let's talk nicely and sensibly about this. Whereas Theresa May will just go in there and send in the army and put in the missiles and tell them exactly where they can bloody well go. Because we are British. Yeah? Why does it even appear there? Why is anger and rage and outrage and emotion, why is it so popular in society? And why is it seen as a sign of competence? It's not a sign of competence. Anyone who negotiates in a state like that is not in control of themselves. They're not in control of the situation. And another thing that people don't like doing when they're in their enraged state is listening. Yeah? Use this. Imagine my driver earlier on if he'd got out. And I just tried to explain to him. They didn't get out because he could see the dash camera in the front of the car. But if he'd got out, what would he have been doing? Shout, shout, shout. Have window banged on. Bang, 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 bang. Face all contorted and everything. Well, I'll kill you. Get away. Not rational. You couldn't argue with him. You couldn't reason with him. Of course you couldn't. So just get this idea in our heads that strength is always associated with aggression, anger is associated with getting things done, and being violent is associated with confidence. All the things that the Tories kind of like to back, don't they? Always strong with the weak and weak with the strong. Strong with the weak and weak with the strong. They're not even strong with the weak. All they do is posture and shout and produce platitudes and produce sound bites. They don't do anything to solve the problem, but they do an awful lot to look good in the media. Anyway, that is my rant over, but there is a very serious point to this. Do you not think that possibly this constant state of rage, absolute rage, serves our ruling class and the commercial interests who actually run this country? Don't you think to have people in a constant state of rage means a constant state of division and a constant feeling of violence towards others? Do you not think that that constant feeling of violence can then translate across beautifully into poverty porn. All those people bloody living it up on benefits. That woman with that bloody disabled car. Don't I love disabled cars? The car's disabled. She's got a better bloody motor than me. Anyway, they got rid of Katie Hopkins, didn't they? For a while, at least. Rant over. Rage over. One final thing. If you believe in everything that these guys fought for, lived and died for in the Battle of Britain and during the Second World War, where it was about saving our democracy and our freedoms, think a bit about Jess Jane there, and if I were you, I'd vote Labour.